Hi! I thought I'd film a little autumn trends video. I keep seeing these videos on my YouTube or like coming up on my YouTube, and I've been like eating up every single one. I wanted to make one of my own that had like an afro twist, I guess. My little jumper on and my little mug of cinnamon honey latte. There we go. For some reason I'm seeing so many ads for Zara, so many ads for H&M, and so many ads for M&S randomly. Maybe I'm just the age bracket now, but I noticed that they're all kind of doing the same thing. Number one, they've increased their quality ever so slightly. It seems to still be like a lot of polyester, like a lot of blended fabrics, like a bit of wool here and there, and then like mostly plastic, and a lot of pleather, which I've made a video about before. That's all to say, I wanted to make like a little autumn video to show that you don't need to buy anything new / the trends I won't be falling for, how to fit the trends into things that you already own, and then also like where to find things secondhand, or like what to search if you want to find these trending items secondhand. So I might go like top to bottom because I feel like that's the easiest. First is wool coats. So I feel like we've been seeing like the rise over the last like I don't know how many years, but like of trench coats. We already know like the kind of classic like Burberry style trench coat. They're pushing the same coat that we've seen for years, but just in like a slightly different font and calling it like the new it thing. The good thing is I feel like everyone either has in their orbit, so like whether this be like a family member or your local charity shop or whatever, I feel like wool blazers specifically or wool coats are very easy to find. Wool coats of some capacity, whether that's like a real wool coat or a kind of like polyester blend wool coat, are in abundance in charity shops or in your own like orbit. Like maybe your friend has one she wants to get rid of or whatever. You could have a family member that has like a vintage wool blazer and or coat. Like I do feel like everyone at some point has some kind of wool coat in their surroundings, and again it just comes down to like I guess how you style it to make it trendy or like fit in this year. I feel so stupid saying that because obviously you can wear what you want at any time. Like if something's from 2018 it doesn't make it like unfashionable, but yeah, I guess like if you want to fit into like the 2025 trends, there are ways to do it. If you don't have a wool jacket or like a wool trench coat, you probably have like a wool blazer and you can still tap into that trend or that look. The second trend I've been seeing a lot of is like bomber jackets in suede and also in pleather, which again I feel like this is something that definitely either your parents have or someone in your family has, or are in abundance in more kind of vintage charity shops, so those kind of bigger charity shops. A little bit more on the pricey side, but you're again paying for like a real leather jacket that won't disintegrate in a couple of years. I've learned that the hard way so many times. It's so funny to me that these fast fashion companies are like pushing these jackets as like the it jacket, part of this capsule wardrobe narrative I feel like they push all the time, but like their top designers will know that that fabric will not stand the test of time, but it'll do for this year and it'll do to make profits for this year. But anyway, I digress. Bomber jackets. I've been seeing videos of people who have like thrifted some kind of jacket and have made a bomber jacket from it by just adding a hem and then like pushing thick elastic through it to make it like elasticated at the bottom and like have that kind of bomber effect. I guess easy to do if you can sew, and if you can't sew, easy to get a tailor to do. So that's my tip, is again look around or potentially get a bit crafty. The next thing I'm seeing is jackets that are kind of, it has like a thick collar like this and kind of like a wide brim. I've been seeing like a lot of the influencer girlies pushing these jackets, and also yeah, they're just coming up in brands. They're really cool and I actually do really like them. I love the look of that, and I love big oversized jackets. I've been seeing them in different patterns as well, like kind of plaid patterns or like different kind of raincoat material. Again, I really like this trend, and I was almost convinced to buy one of those jackets that like came up here. Like I just think I love the look of them. And then I saw another creator, who I'll leave the name of here, had this like genius idea that I will demonstrate. So any jacket can do this. Well, a lot of jackets can do this, and again it's one of those things that like you might think that you don't have an item, but if you just like twist some of your items that you already have, it can become that item. I don't know, in previous years I would just wear this jacket like this, But she was saying that if you zip it to the top, so again, it's just styling it differently, it becomes a totally different look. That looks so good. Sorry, that's the first time I've tried this on. That's a way to tap into that trend without having to buy a new jacket. Like, it's just a matter of like zipping it to the top. What a good tip. That's so good. Wow, love her. This is my favorite, or one of my favorite leather jackets. It is my nanny's. I bring it up all the time. Usually I would wear it like hanging down like that. If I was to button that to the top button, it would sit like that, so that like oversized collar effect still comes into play. Cheap way to tap into a trend without actually having to pay any money, which is great. Okay, I kind of mentioned that like there's like those kind of plaid jackets doing the rounds that have that kind of like plaid in fabrics that you wouldn't normally see it in, if that makes sense. So think like rain trousers and like a rain jacket, like sports kind of fabric. I found something really similar to this that I made a set for EP and actually butchered. I butchered the original jacket, which I wish that I just had what that was. But if anyone in your family is like a golfer, they might have this on hand, and they're in a lot of like vintage shops in the men's section. So yeah, if you want to tap into the like plaid trend and you don't want to spend like 150 on a jacket that is like probably a micro trend, like golf jumper situation, that's like a good thing to look up. And also again, you could make a jacket from those jumpers by just like adding a zip, layering it on top of something, still kind of tapping into the trend. There seems to be a trend with what I'm saying. If you don't want to have, if you're not interested in that, there's also other ways to wear plaid as like a concept in its most typical form, which is just like a plaid shirt. Like, I'm gonna say like a lumberjack type of shirt. These look so good layered. It's not something, for some reason, like every time I go to wear plaid, like it just doesn't like align with my soul. Plaid shirt over like a little dainty dress, like that looks so cute. And I guess it's just, is it just a reimagination of like 2015 Tumblr plaid shirts? Probably. But yeah, I guess that's an easy way to tap into it. The other trend I've been seeing is like those little peacoat jackets. Again, I feel like that is something that if you don't have it, your nanny, your mom, your auntie, someone in your like orbit will have, or like your charity shops will have, like, and I feel like in the next year those are going to explode. Like that's going to be the it jacket or like the it silhouette. So I would ask around now and see if anyone has that silhouette. I'm kind of annoyed because there's definitely been times where I've had access to that and I've probably thrown them out or just not worn them. And I feel like they're always in charity shops as well, specifically in the like occasion wear sections. I feel like that's where those jackets are. You definitely don't need to buy a new plastic version of that when there's so much of those jackets in existence. I probably should have started this off with my like preachy bit of the fact that there is enough clothes currently in existence to clothe the next 6 generations of people, which is a really scary statistic. If you go into like any high street shop and you think about like the volume of clothes that's just in that one section, and then think about how many shops there are in one country, then globally, like it actually is so mental to think about the volume of clothes that is produced every single season. Not only the volume of clothes, but like what is actually in the clothes, which is like majority polyester. We don't need to be buying any new clothes, full stop. The purpose of wearing clothes in autumn is to like keep warm. You're always going to be wearing like a form of jumper. You're always going to be wearing a form of coat. Just funny to me that fast fashion companies push like different it items every year when really it's the same item in like different fonts. I've seen influencers recently who have made, they've been like, it's an H&M autumn or like it's an H&M fall, and what they're wearing is like a polyester jumper and a plaid shirt. Obviously they're being paid to push these items, but like the fact that fast fashion companies think they can get away with like making plaid shirts an it girl item when they are so already in abundance. Yeah, that's just the preachy bit over and done with. I feel like it always eventually comes up in conversation when we're talking about fashion. I guess that's something just to bear in mind. Like any new purchase that you're thinking of making, I think just like coming back to that, compass. The next thing I'm seeing is like rugby tops. I can't remember which website I saw it on, but yeah, rugby top seems to be like a trending autumn staple this 2025 season. Seems like it's just like an evolution of like that kind of bloke core. If your family are into rugby, they probably have a rugby top somewhere. In its essence, it's like a collared soft top, so like a collared t-shirt, which then makes it easier to then kind of find items like it. So even if you have like a little polo shirt from summer, or like even like your old school polo shirts, am I the only one that hoards these things? I don't know, like layering that under like a jumper basically has the same effect. The good thing with the bottoms is, again, it's the whole function and purpose is to keep you warm, and jeans is like unchanging. I feel like actually every silhouette is in style at the minute. Like skinny jeans have made a comeback, wide leg hasn't gone anywhere, straight leg hasn't gone anywhere, flares haven't gone anywhere. Like I feel like there's a way to style every single silhouette of jean currently. The other thing, again, I've been seeing is like layering skirts, or like heavier autumn skirts, I guess. This is like the easiest way, I think, to repurpose summer skirts, is to just like layer them. I keep going back to the same thing, but like obviously wearing like tights underneath, like skirts over jeans or over trousers, it's so easy to do. You can just layer like all of your summer bits over jeans. It makes it transitional. The thing I want to talk about is shoes. I love my Docs. Like my Docs are like my babies. I adore my Docs. When I've gone to wear them this year, I felt like a little bit outdated or something, which has never really happened to me. Like I don't feel like trends really affect me that much in like what I wear on the daily, but for some reason, like every time I put them on, I felt like a little bit cringe, or like just like a little bit like outdated or not super like trendy when I put them on. Boots are boots, like I don't know how else to say it, but like boots are boots. Like they're just meant to keep your feet warm and like be durable and be like stomping around. Like that's kind of the purpose of boots. For the first time in a long time, that like trends have really like seeped into my psyche, and I felt like a little bit like, ooh, this is so embarrassing. Fast fashion companies are charging outrageous money for like a plastic shoe that will disintegrate. Like they're not built to last. The sole is like barely glued on. Wet conditions, it doesn't do well in cold. Like those two elements are what makes leather start to disintegrate the way it does. Start to disintegrate the way it does. If you are to invest in something, like definitely do invest in a leather boot. You can get Docs on Vestiaire. That's where I got my Docs. Our like caveman days when we were like against the elements, and obviously we wore animal skin. Not pronouncing animal skin, but there are vintage leather options out there. Will keep you warm, will keep you like cozy, like super durable, will last the test of time. Might not be again the exact silhouette that is like trending right now, but that silhouette will pass, and then there's going to be a new it boot next year, which is a slightly different silhouette, and then a new it boot the following year. There's always so many shoes in charity shops. You can just find your own nice silhouette that's going to last you, basically, is what I'm trying to say. And then lastly, I want to touch on color schemes, because I feel like there's always those kind of it colors. For autumn, it's usually like a mossy green, browns, burgundy. I feel like brown, cappuccino I think they're calling it, and burgundy are like the it color. The easiest way to like change your wardrobe to fit a trend is to dye them. But I would be mindful of this, because I definitely, like, I remember when like green was like having its big moment, like green and brown was having a big moment, I think in 2020 or 2021. I dyed so many things green that I instantly hated. So and also like dyed items that were actually like a nice color to begin with, and I just changed them green. Items that you actively want to change, or like the color really doesn't suit you, so you want it to be a different color, or like items that you were thinking of donating, like I would definitely do this on them first before I would recommend. Do not dye something that you like/love, because you might end up hating it and hating yourself. Literally did this yesterday. So I had this top which was like a very pale yellow. It was sitting in my like to donate. I thrifted it in America and I actually really loved it, and then I put it in a dark wash, just shoved all the colors in, and obviously something that was either like a dark blue or something ran and turned it like a very pale green, and it made me look really sick when I put it on. I dyed it literally yesterday to pink and I feel like it looks so much better. I personally love it. It's a great way to revitalize something that you don't think you're gonna wear. Like this, again, I was gonna donate it and I was really upset about it. And now it's like, this is like gonna be such a staple for me, which I'm so happy about. I did it to a few other items. So this was just a little tank top that was really stained. So that was white, now it's pink. Very cute. Obviously this season is like mostly like a brown or a burgundy. If you have items in your wardrobe that you know you're not gonna wear, or you have kind of summer jumpers that you think could work, easy way to tap into like the trend of 2025 autumn without having to buy anything except for dye. So yeah, that was kind of my little autumn staple video. I'm gonna try post weekly in October. I'm gonna like hold myself to that. If you want to see more, hit subscribe and I will be here. Okay, bye.